Hey, I'm Amanda, and this is The Middle of It, a podcast about the messy but beautiful in between parts of life. Today's episode is called Sobriety Can Be Fun. We didn't get sober to be miserable. This one's close to my heart because early on, I needed the reminder that sobriety isn't supposed to feel like punishment. It's not about getting through life, it's about living it. We didn't get sober to hide in the corner while everyone else had fun. We got sober so we could actually be there for all of it: the music, the laughter, the love, the mornings we remember. So today, we're talking about the fun side of sobriety, the side that reminds us that joy, laughter, and curiosity are all part of recovery too. When I first came in, it was shameful. I was embarrassed. I didn't want anyone to see me walking into a meeting. People would say, if they're at a meeting too, you have something in common. But it didn't matter. I didn't want to be the one who needed meetings. I didn't want to be the one who had to label herself as an alcoholic. I'd pull my car into the parking lot fast, head down, and pretend no one could see me. It felt like sobriety was this secret I had to protect. Most of my life, I thought an alcoholic was just the person under the bridge drinking from a paper bag. And because other women and other people showed me what alcoholism looked like and what AA was about, I knew that that wasn't true. And I knew where to go if you had a problem. But I don't mean the whole drinking under the bridge thing as like a judgmental piece. I just didn't see myself in that picture. I was a mom who showed up at school events, whose kids participated in like spirit weeks, who still did fun things. I didn't fit that stereotype. But what I didn't realize yet was that alcoholism doesn't care what your life looks like on the outside, or rather, the image you're trying to project. It's about what's really going on the inside. And inside, I was unraveling. So I kept going to meetings. I hid in the back, I listened, and little by little, I started to see people who had lives that looked like mine. People who had kids, jobs, but dying in the inside, just like I was. Or at least they used to be. I didn't think sobriety could be fun. It sounded heavy, serious, all about saving your life. And yeah, it is heavy. But the saving your life part wasn't just about staying alive. It's also about learning how to live again. Once the obsession started to lift, I began noticing cracks of light. And that light really came through people. My first sober friend, she changed everything for me. She showed me that sobriety could be funny, joyful, and real. We got sober during COVID, so there were no diners after meetings, no big coffee shop hangouts. We had to create our own fellowship, and that looked like standing outside meetings, smoking cigarettes, talking for hours. That was our diner. Eventually, we started going to Panera once it opened. And one night we were talking about the liquor stores we used to go to. I told her I always went to the same one and said, totally seriously, I wonder if they miss me. She lost it, laughed so hard she almost fell out of the booth. And then I started laughing too because, yeah, they definitely did not miss me. It was totally crazy, but it felt so good to laugh. That moment was my first real taste of joy in sobriety. It reminded me that laughter is sacred here. It's proof that we survived and that we're still capable of lightness. And now, my sober friendships have become this whole little world of their own. We celebrate each other's wins and we show up for each other when life hits hard. We do dinners, parties, little weekend hangouts. I've explored new towns, gone shopping, had a million breakfasts together. And let me tell you, food sober, fantastic. It actually tastes better and you can truly enjoy it. There's no splitting checks over overpriced drinks or worrying about who owes what or who drank the most. I don't have to think about whether a restaurant is BYOB or how much the incredibly expensive drinks will cost. It's simple, it's joyful, and it's real connection. The thing that surprises me most is how easy the fun comes now. I can go into a bar sober and watch football. I can hang out with friends who aren't sober and still have a blast because the joy isn't about the drink anymore. It's about being there. I can laugh, talk, dance, be silly, all of it, and know that I'm being myself, not performing. And it's not just with sober people either. Even when I'm around the people who still drink, I can connect with them in a real way now because my sobriety isn't about controlling anyone else. It's about me. It's about the choices I make and the way I get to show up for my family and my friends, fully, honestly, and present. That's freedom. Every new event became a test. The first wedding, the first barbecue, the first concert. I was terrified I'd be bored or awkward. But every time I made it through one, it was another tiny miracle. My friend and I went to a wedding. It was her coworker's family, so I only knew her. And we had the best time. We demolished the ice cream bar. We danced, took photo booth pictures that we later sent to our sponsor, and we drove home, sober, safe, happy, and laughing. That was the night I realized I didn't lose my ability to have fun. I just stopped outsourcing it to something that kept stealing it from me. Before I move on, I just want to say something important because I know some of you might still be early in your sobriety journey. Everything I'm sharing here, the concerts, the games, the nights out, those things came later. This part of my story isn't for the person who just put down their last drink. In the beginning, my only job was to stay sober and safe. And that meant not testing myself, not walking into bars just to prove I could handle it, not going to parties where I'd feel out of place or tempted. When the time did come for me to do those things again, I didn't do it alone. I talked with people in my circle, my sponsor, my sober friends. I checked in. Do you think I'm ready? I brought people with me who understood, people who could support me if I needed to leave. And honestly, that's the other key. Always have an exit plan. Remember, you don't need to white knuckle your way through any event. If it gets uncomfortable, if your gut tells you it's time to go, go. You owe no one an explanation. Your safety and your peace come first, always. So if you're listening and you're still early on, that's okay. You're not missing out. You're building the foundation for everything fun that's coming later because it will come. You'll know when you're ready, and your people will help you know too. So, going to like music events has always been one of my things, but drinking used to steal even that from me. We drink before, pregame, tailgate, drink through the opening acts, and by the time the headliner came on, I'd be gone. I thought that was fun. Now I see it was absolutely ridiculous because I remembered nothing. My first sober concert might have been Tim McGraw. I went with my daughter, my niece, and my sister in law. I was the driver, no issues, totally fine, simple and sweet, and I remembered everything. That summer, I went all in. I bought a $250 season pass to PNC with lawn seats for every show all summer. I was about a year and a half into sobriety and I went to everything country, rock, comedy shows. And I remembered every lyric, every laugh, every detail. But the most unforgettable one, the Kid Rock concert. Alex and I were still newly dating. and right next to us, a man overdosed. The EMTs came, worked on him forever, and he never regained consciousness while we were there. We still don't know what happened to him. If he passed, my prayers are with his family and friends. And if he didn't, my prayers are that he's found a better solution, that he's found peace somewhere along the way. After that, someone threw up everywhere. It got on my leg, it was on my shoes. It was disgusting. That night was God, a divine slap in the face reminder of what our lives could look like if we ever went back. That was our past, laid out right next to us. We stayed, had fun, navigated traffic, got home safe, sober, not sick, and not scared. And I didn't realize until later, actually, when I was writing this, that it was really a foreshadowing, a visual of everything we could lose if we forget where we came from. Now, concerts are like my favorite thing to do sober because I remember them. And the best part, no more excuses for stupid behavior. No more, I was just drunk. Now it's me in all my quirky glory, laughing, dancing, singing, being ridiculous, but not making a fool of myself. And there's also no more road sodas for me because drinking while driving, not legal, but also not smart. I used to think I needed alcohol to be fun, but now I'm realizing I'm pretty fun sober too. So, dating sober is another adventure in and of itself. When Alex and I first started seeing each other, our first date was at Lucky Leo's on the boardwalk. We played arcade games, laughed like kids, acted ridiculous, and it was perfect. That's the kind of joy I chased in alcohol but never really felt. And let's just say, sober sex? Yeah. Turns out that's a whole new kind of fun, too. Now, the things that surprise me most about being sober are the simple joys. Waking up early, even when I don't want to, making coffee, cooking breakfast, feeding the chickens, checking the garden, doing it all without a hangover, without that drained, foggy feeling. I didn't even know I had this much energy until I stopped stealing it from myself. And the other surprise? Being present, especially in hard moments. Before, when something hurt, I drank to forget. Now, when something hurts, I connect. I invite a friend over. We sit on the couch, talk, cry, laugh, and I actually process it. When I used to drink, I thought that kind of night was connection, that spilling my heart out drunk was vulnerability. But it wasn't. It was a band aid because the next morning, nothing was solved. Whatever hurt was still there. And just add on top of it a hangover and probably some embarrassment. And the people I thought I connected with, sometimes they were strangers, and others, it wasn't like I was calling them the next morning to talk about it. I knew they were feeling the same way I was. Now I make connections that stick. When I open up to someone while I'm sober, I remember it. And if they're sober, they remember it. We grow from it. It's real connection, not just shared chaos. Sobriety also gave me back my curiosity. A friend and I used to go on spontaneous road trips. At every intersection, we'd play rock, paper, scissors, and whoever the winner was would say which way to go. And that's where we went. We discovered random farms, little neighborhoods, and sometimes we'd even find ourselves in a town we'd never even seen. It sounds silly, but it was just pure joy. No plan, just exploring. Now weekends aren't about what can I drink? They're about what can we do? I scroll Facebook events, check out local fairs, see if there's any markets going on, farmers markets, all the things I would have ignored before. I even look up bingo. Like I literally search for bingo events. Moving to a new town became an adventure because I was awake for it. I could actually explore. Started hiking, running again, finding that release I used to look for in a bottle. And it was better because I was present for it. And then there's gratitude. Gratitude keeps the joy alive. It's what reminds me that this is all bonus time I almost missed. I used to spend my life in a cycle. Drink Friday because it's the weekend. Drink Monday because Mondays suck. Drink Thursday because it's almost Friday. And on the weekend, you drink because, hey, it's the weekend. There was always a reason. Now, all that time I used to waste is filled with life, new hobbies, new friends, real connection. And that presence, that spiritual layer, it changes everything. Because when you're present, even the small things feel alive. Music hits deeper, laughter lasts longer. You can feel your life again. Growing old isn't guaranteed, it's a privilege. And I get to feel my life now. That's what drinking took from me. That's what sobriety gave me back. I didn't get sober to be miserable. I got sober to live, to dance, to laugh, to drink too much coffee, to run, to love, to raise my daughters, to build a life that feels honest. Sobriety isn't punishment, it's permission. Permission to show up for your one wild, messy, beautiful life and remember it all. So if you're early in recovery and worried that the fun is over, it's not. It's just waiting for you on the other side of fear. You don't have to wait for a miracle. You can start creating it now because we didn't get sober to just get through life. We got sober to live it. If this episode made you smile, share it with someone who might need a reminder that sobriety can be beautiful and fun. Tag me on Instagram at Middle of It Podcast and tell me your favorite sober memory. The first concert you remembered, the first time you laughed until you cried. Because fun isn't canceled, it's finally real. You're not broken, you're just in the middle of it. And the middle is where the fun actually happens. Until next time, keep going and keep having fun.